Thursday insights for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. Danielle Noyce here, and we're tracking two big weather headlines, of course. Accumulating snow coming in, mainly during the day on Saturday. For some of us, it will start a little bit earlier. And brutally cold temperatures. So it's a widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow coming. I'll give you a look at the accumulation map coming up. The wind kicks up, gusting around 40 miles per hour by Saturday late afternoon through the evening and overnight. That, combined with sharply dropping temperatures, the feels like value will go to 10 to 20 below zero, 20 to 30 below zero in some of the coldest spots through the interior and far northern New England. So what's the weather feature on the map causing this? It's a front, cold front that's coming in and will slide through the Great Lakes today. Sharply colder air behind it with high pressure funneling that air right out of the poles. So there's a lot of brutally cold air up in Canada, and that is what is going to be coming into New England behind that front. So let's time things out, and I'm going to take this map slowly, pick the spot closest to you, and I'll play things through for our Friday and Saturday. Friday is generally quiet, although you notice the one exception, and that's at the coastline, where we will get some clouds and some snow showers kind of drifting in, floating in, particularly inside of 128. Think tip of Essex County, the South Shore, back down to Cape Cod. Some of them may drift a little farther inland. They're light, they're brief in passing as they come on by, but there may be a coating that does develop here or there because it's cold enough for it to stick on untreated surfaces. So I just don't want you to be caught off guard by that. There will be some flakes flying in eastern Massachusetts as early as Friday morning and then continuing, you notice, to drift in from time to time over the course of the afternoon. By Friday evening, if you have Friday night plans, running in the teens to lower 20s with partly to mostly cloudy skies, those clouds thicken, still some flurries in southeastern New England, but the steadier snow moves in between about 9 and 11 p.m. into western New England. And that will spread east, but it's a slow progress through the overnight. So even by very early on Saturday morning, the snow just coming into eastern areas and will fill in. But what's interesting about this disturbance is there will be some holes that develop, a little bit of disorganization by Saturday afternoon. So Saturday morning is a snowy start in a lot of areas, but notice some of the holes developing, they'll fill back in. Oh, here's another hole that develops. So that's why it's not a steady or a heavy snow all day. There'll be some lulls in the action. Notice the temperatures running in the 20s with the exception, here we go, western New England. Already in the single digits by the time we get to midday. That's the Arctic air. So we may get a little pulse late morning through the early afternoon with some steadier pockets of snow as that Arctic front sweeps in. So there will be some localized slick travel. It'll be slow going on the roads over the course of Saturday. By the afternoon, yes, these snow showers in western New England will tend to taper off somewhat. Notice by the time we get to the afternoon, really starting to dwindle in western, central New England. By 6 p.m., just a few pockets of snow left over from central Maine back down into eastern Massachusetts, maybe into far eastern Rhode Island as well. These will taper off as well, lingering longest for the mid and outer Cape. This is again by Saturday during the evening. The temperatures dropping all the while. So yes, it's generally a Saturday event. And I don't want you to focus on the exact number here, but I'm going to play things through to show you that it doesn't really matter where you go across New England. In general, this is a 1 to 2 inch to 3 inch snowfall events. We get some blues in here, but many areas all the way from Connecticut back up into northern New England, perhaps a little bit less in far central and eastern Maine where it's more like an inch or so or just under that. So let's zoom into southern New England, and the white indicates 1 to 2. This is what I'm talking about. See a little blue showing up here through the South Shore near like Hull and Weymouth. Also on the outer Cape, we may get a little enhancement. Generally, this blue indicates 2 to 4, but I think many of us will end up in the 2 to 3 inch range. So yes, is it impactful? But it's a fairly minor event in the scheme of snowstorms. Nonetheless, expect some reduced visibility, expect some slippery travel, particularly over the course of Saturday morning and into the afternoon. Northern New England, it's about a 2 to 3 inch event for most of us across Vermont, and 2 to 3 inches across northern New Hampshire in these blues. But you get down near Plymouth and Laconia, and it's more like 1 to 2. Same in and around Concord, then even a little bit less, either side of an inch, stretching into far western Maine. And there's that coating to an inch when you get across central and eastern Maine. The one thing we'll watch, and I talked about this earlier this week, is if we get a little bit of coastal enhancement, somewhere like eastern Essex County or the South Shore, the Outer Cape may have a few locally higher amounts. So that's something we'll still keep an eye on. All right, wind picks up Saturday afternoon. Notice eastern New England, we're still doing okay, but behind the Arctic front, the wind is really going to tick up. Look at this, between about mid to late afternoon. So many gusts going 30 to 35 miles per hour, and then 40 to 45 in some of the hilltops, the outer Cape. So that in and itself, combined with the dropping temperature, is going to add that real bite to the air. This is Sunday morning, so many gusts around 35 to 40 miles per hour, central, southern New England. Northern New England, we're a little more removed, but I do still think we'll have some gusts around 30 miles per hour. And then the wind will slowly tick down a bit during the day on Sunday, but still some gusts between about 20 and 30, which is brutal when you combine that with the cold coming in. So I want to show you the wind chill values, and we're going to put the frostbite exposure time on here too, with unlikely in green, and then as cold as quickly as 15 minutes in like the oranges and the reds. So notice what happens by Saturday afternoon and evening. The coldest air already, by the time we get to Saturday, late afternoon and evening, feel like 10 to 20 below zero in western New England. Watch what happens. That slides east. So many spots. Doesn't really matter where you are, with maybe the exception of Cape Cod. We're still going to feel like it's below zero, and maybe the mid-coast to down East Maine by Sunday morning. But the rest of us, look at this. 10 to 20 below zero and 20 to 30 below zero when you get from the Worcester Hills, the Berkshires, back up into northern New England. So that's the oranges, which indicate 15 to 30 minute exposure time. That's it on the skin that's not covered up. So if you are outside and you're bundled up and dressed appropriately, you're fine. But if you're not, that's a different story. Sunday, it's going to feel like it's around zero throughout the day. 5 to 15 below zero in northern New England. Then it gets cold again Sunday night into Monday. A little less wind though. So the coldest readings will be across far northern New England in terms of the wind chill values. So we've seen this so far this winter, right? This is the coldest snap we've had in many areas combined with the wind. So this is battery car killing cold. If your battery's on the fritz, that may be a concern. Watch for frozen pipes, right? I know it's tough with the electric bills and the gas bills, right? But if you can leave your cabinets open, get a little air circulation, that can help. Space heaters, obviously that brings another danger, but still something to keep in mind. Cover up your exposed skin if you are going to be outside, and don't forget your pets, right? I know they have to go outside to do their thing, but that said, you don't want to leave them outside for a long period of time. Outside and in pretty quickly. Other thing that we want to talk about is the predicted wave heights. Freezing spray on the coastal water is going to be a big thing here as we head into the upcoming weekend. Saturday afternoon, still 1 to 3 foot seas, 5 footers offshore, but watch what happens behind the Arctic front. We really tick up the wave heights. So about 10 footers offshore, 5 to 8 feet closer to the coastline, even some 10 to 12 foot seas from the Northeast Channel, stretching back down to the Great South Channel by the time we get to Saturday night and Sunday. And then things will gradually ease after that, but still offshore wave heights around 10 feet throughout the day on Monday. The nearshore wave heights will come down a little bit, but freezing spray will still become a concern. So it does make Friday's high temperatures seem not so bad, right? 20s to around 30 degrees. That northeast wind, again, bringing some of those snow showers drifting in off the ocean. Friday night, single digits north, teens for most of us with a fairly light wind. The warmest reading on Saturday in the morning. So yes, 20s, but teens, single digits. You noticed in that feels like temperature that I showed you, that map, and the actual temperatures, how quickly they drop from west to east on Saturday afternoon and evening. Saturday night, the actual temperature does go sub-zero in somewhere like Worcester, near zero in the Merrimack Valley, only 4 in Boston, single digits back down to the Cape, and 10 to 20 below zero in the coldest spots of far western and northern New England. High temperatures on Sunday struggle to get out of the single digits in far western and northern New England, and will only be in the teens. And the wind, again, still gusting 20 to 35 miles per hour. Sunday night, actual temperatures once again go sub-zero across much of the region. Coldest in far northern New England. Single digits again. It'll be very similar Saturday night and Sunday night in terms of the actual temperature. There's just a little less wind on Sunday night. No matter how you cut it, though, it's brutally cold starts in the morning, and that includes Monday morning for the kids at the bus stop. We do rebound into the teens and 20s, though, by the time we get to Monday afternoon. Membership.onedegreeoutside.com for membership levels to choose from. Our podcast is called Talking Up a Storm. Matt and I have so much fun with it. We're going to drop one later this week. That's for the inside track and above. Thank you to everybody who signed up for your continued support. The one-stop shop for everything, of course, is in our free weather app. If you haven't downloaded it yet, do it. It's free. It can't hurt anything. If you don't love it, you can delete it. but I think you're going to love it. That's why we get thousands of 5-star reviews. And if you want to watch on TV, yes, you can. Open up the YouTube app on your smart TV and search 1 Degree Outside Network. We're always at onedegreeoutside.live as well on your computer or tablet. We'll keep you posted on everything. Have a great day, everybody.